All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 1 at Daytona. Avery Walker and Max Gunther on the front row. Nick Sorensen and Andrew Lau have the second row. Adam Barker and Harry Volsmere on the third row. Wessel Stevens, Mike Dolling on the fourth row. Simon Zierk and Dylan Steinbach round out your top 10. David Garman starting in 11th next to Byron Debelow in 12th. Mike Marshall and Hans Gustafsson 13th and 14th. The rookies Robert Joe and Burkhard Rydell 15th and 16th. Roman Berg starting in 17th. Another rookie Andrew Muse in 18th. Ryan McDaniel, Nicole Kriesel, and Xander round out the 21 car field here this morning. All the drivers getting stacked up on the backstretch. Just waiting on one more driver to take to the grid. As always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. Gerald Thanos Poole cheering on Nicole. That's what she said, Kriesel. All the drivers on the grid, and the Porsche pace car starts rolling. Big surprise of the morning is Adam Barker in the Mercedes. Hans Gustafsson in the Audi. And a Porsche-powered front row led by Avery Walker. Pace car about to hit pit road. Now remember, they will not need to stop in race 1. Race 2 will see the top 7 invert and a fuel stop. There we go. Porsche pace car dives to pit road. They are ready. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Daytona. Turn 1 likely to get a little spicy here. We see 3 wide. Wow. A lot of drivers trying to pick up some ground in turn 1. Now down into the International Horseshoe. Still a bit of side-by-side. Barker goes wide. Simon Zierk goes a little bit wide. One of the rookies, Andrew Muse, appears to have had a problem. We'll take a look at all the lap 1 incidents here in just a moment, as Avery pulls them out onto the high banks of NASCAR Turn 2. Max Gunther right there with him, but Sorensen back in third. This is where the Porsches will struggle. Roman Berg has had a problem. The Porsches have struggled all season long with straight line speed. But for the moment, Avery and Max pulled a little bit of a gap on third place Sorensen. Down the front straightaway, and it does appear Avery Walker will lead lap 1. Let's take a look at, so no, Avery's a little bit wide. Looks like within the track limits, but it looked like he was going a little bit wide, taking a late apex. Let's take a look at the lap 1 incident. There's Muse. He goes off and, comes back across. Andrew Muse hard into the fence. A few moments later, Roman Berg has a problem as they come out onto the banking. That part of the track extremely slippery. Just loses the back end. Quickly gets it turned around, but loses a lot of ground. Avery continues to lead for the moment. Max Gunther still sits right behind in second. Sorensen in third. Andrew Lau in fourth. Adam Barker in fifth. Harry Volschmier in sixth. Dylan Steinbach in seventh. Dylan up 3 spots already. Simon Zierk in 8th. Wessel Stevens in 9th. Mike Dolling in 10th. Garmy in 11th, but on the move, Xander up to 12th place already. Remember, Xander did not score a qualifying lap in the Ferrari. It does not seem to have mattered. Xander is on the march. Byron Devereaux back in 13th. Burkhard Rydell, the rookie, in 14th. Mike Marshall in 15th. Robert Joe in 16th. Hans Gustafsson in 17th. Ryan McDaniel back in 18th. Andrew Muse in 19th. Nicole Kriesel in 20th. Roman Berg back in 21st after that early incident. Roman has not gone to pit road. Looks like the car is handling okay. Xander in 12th is now caught up to the back bumper of David Garman. And with that battle ahead, Dylan Steinbach comes out of the bus stop slow. Garman goes to the high side, Xander to the bottom. Whoa! A close call between Xander and Dolling. Both drivers managed to save it. Both drivers, though, losing some ground. Harry Volsmir has had a problem along with Adam Barker, and Ryan McDaniel had a problem a moment ago. There's Ryan down the back straightaway into the bus stop. Oh, does not get it turned in and meets the tire wall hard. There's Adam Barker and Harry Volsmir side by side through turn one. Oh, Harry pushes out just a little bit. They bang together a second time. Both drivers in trouble. Big shakeup mid-pack. Harry Volsmere did end up towing it to pit road. Xander managing to avoid the chaos ahead is now up into 10th. Mike Dolling moves up into 11th. Mike Marshall into 12th. Robert Joe in 13th, and Adam Barker slips back to 14th. Barker trying to take advantage of the Mercedes power on the long straightaways here at Daytona. But that car does have a deficiency in the turns. It does not handle nearly as well as the other GT3s. Avery continues to lead. Max Gunther, Sorensen in third, back behind as Burkhard Wright Ellis had a problem. There he is coming out of the first couple of turns down into the International Horseshoe. On the brakes, a little too much rear brake. The back end steps out, goes through the grass, does recover, and Hans Gustafsson has had a problem. The lone Audi in the field coming out of the second horseshoe. Just loses rear grip, snaps around, and Nicole Kriesel has had a problem. Here she comes into the second horseshoe a little bit wide, turns it in and the back end just goes around. Definitely a wild start here at Daytona. And Gourmets has had a problem as well. There's Garmin headed off into the bus stop, trying to get back past the Mustang, and Steinbach loses the back end and several cars go by. Halfway through the first race and already quite a bit of chaos. Then you factor in going into race 2, the top 7 will invert. Things are definitely going to get even more heated in the second race. Simon Zier currently in 6th, right on the back bumper of 5th place, Wessel Stevens. Dylan Steinbach in 7th. Xander now in 8th, closing in on Steinbach. One of the rookies, Robert Joe, in the McLaren, currently sits in 11th place. A great run for the rookie here this morning, but Adam Barker in the Mercedes looks to the high side. Barker sends it deeper into turn 1, cuts down, shuts the door. Ryan McDaniel has gone to pit road unexpectedly. And Robert Joe has had a problem. Coming out of the first turn down into the International Horseshoe, and we saw it a couple of times already mid-turn. Oh, he gets a little bit of Gourmet. Does get the car going, but after losing the back end, also lost a couple spots. Almost every one of these drivers has been out practicing for the 24 hours of Daytona next week. And it definitely shows these drivers pushing to the limit. Avery and Max still nose to tail. Nick Sorensen now almost 4 seconds behind in third, as Andrew Lau in fourth, Wessel Stevens in fifth, Simon still in his bumper in sixth, Dylan Steinbach in seventh, as Mike Dolling in eighth, right behind him. However, Dolling does have a little damage on the front of McLaren, and Xander has had a problem. Burkhart Rydell has also had a problem. There's Xander coming into the International Horseshoe. A little loss of rear grip, goes a long way as he comes around. Quickly gets it turned around, but loses a lot of time. And there's Rydell back behind. Overshoots his entry into the horseshoe. Gets in the grass, goes around, finally gets it going again. Looks like that International Horseshoe is starting to get slicker. Avery starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Max Gunther. Sorensen now 4 1/4 seconds back. Lau closing the gap on third place Sorensen. Wessel Stevens currently in fifth, but has Simon on the bumper. Dylan Steinbach in seventh, pulling away from Mike Dolling in eighth. As we mentioned, Dolling does have some damage to the front end of that car. You see it there. Byron Debelo now up in the ninth, Adam Barker in 10th, and despite the earlier incident, Xander already back to 11th and closing in. Xander 2.5 seconds behind Barker at the moment. He is closing in rapidly. It appears the Porsche may be the strongest car here today. They have managed to pull a gap on Sorensen, Lau, and Wessel. Simon still right there with Wessel Stevens, hoping he makes a mistake and he gets an opportunity to take the position. Xander continuing to close in on Adam Barker, now less than 2 seconds behind as Rydell has had a problem again. Rydell in his rookie race with NSS has had a rough morning. There's Rydell off into turn one. The back end just goes out on him. Does manage to get it turned around rather quickly, but still loses a lot of ground on track. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTubes. From the looks of it, we're going to have quite a few YouTube shorts coming out early this week. Already have quite a few shorts scheduled and coming out, including race shorts and trucking shorts. The top two continue to stay nose to tail. Every time Avery gets a gap, Max reels him back in. Sorensen back in third, continues to lose ground to the top two. Lau sits in fourth, Wessel in fifth, closing in, but will not have enough time to get there. Avery and Max coming through the final turn, should see the white flag this time. And Ryan McDaniel has had a problem, as we've got a battle for the lead. Ryan coming through the infield. Overshoots the exit onto the banking and buries it in the tire wall. He does manage to get it out. That is Cookie Monster, not Tire Monster Ryan. Avery leads them back out onto the banking. It is going to be a close battle to the end. Avery out front, but only by a few tenths of a second. Max closing up on the straightaway into the bus stop. Avery leads them out of the bus stop. Max has one last shot. Coming out of NASCAR 4, Max may be too far back. And he is. Avery Walker will get it done and win race one. Max Gunther comes home in second. And Nick Sorensen brings it home in third. And let's see if we can talk to our top three, starting with Sorensen. Nick, a pretty consistent race. You stayed out of trouble and held your position.
Yeah, I did. Was pretty consistent there.
Looked like you didn't really have to push that much. Saw a couple of times you started to gain a little ground on Max and Avery, but just couldn't run the Porsches down.
Yeah, I had decent pace overall, but with Max and Avery, they were just slightly more pace, and then they were to link up and get the draft together. And once I lost the draft, I had no more chance.
Still a great finish. Now to come through a little traffic and try and do it again.
Yes, sir. It's the name of the game.
Great job, buddy.
Thanks.
Max Gunther comes home in second. Max, you come home in second and a great run. But man, I really thought that last lap you had something for him.
Yeah, me too. But I thought he had a slowdown out of the bus stop, but he didn't. He was just an off track, so that was really close.
It definitely was close, and you guys put on quite a show. You just kind of checked out and ran away from the field.
Yeah, it was fun. Porsche is really good.
Well, I had to question the Porsche with the straight line speed of the other cars and the Porsche lacking in it, but it seemed to do a good job here despite the long high-speed straights.
Yeah, it was because I think Avery and I were always in the slipstream of each other. Like I pushed him from behind, he towed me from front, so I think that helped a lot.
Well, it definitely helped quite a bit, man. Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, our winner, Avery, congratulations. That was a really impressive win this morning.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good race. Max is a great racer. I think he was within a second the entire time, so he was keeping me honest, and I was definitely sweating. So happy to pull that off, and he was very close at the end.
He definitely was. Were you watching your mirror the most on that last lap? I really expected him to use the slipstream and sling himself on by.
Oh yeah, no, I was watching him. I was racing the mirrors. I really was just hoping not to get a slowdown in the bus stop. I ended up getting an off track, like trying to use like every bit I could, and that was enough to keep me in front of him. But yeah, it was very close.
Now, how much practice have you done here in the last couple of weeks? I know a lot of guys out practicing for the 24 hours. Have you been practicing, and does that give you a huge advantage here?
Yeah, I've definitely been practicing. Probably done like a couple hours in total practice. I'm sure Max has done similar, but yeah, I feel very comfortable around here.
Well, it definitely showed a really strong win, but now you got to come from 7th. However, this isn't a track that's too hard to pass at. There's quite a few passing opportunities.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I know the Porsche is not the fastest on the straight, so I'm going to have to probably make moves elsewhere rather than just like slipstreaming on people. So I might not be able to move up that quickly. We'll see.
Well, congratulations. Good luck in race 2, buddy.
All right, thanks.
Avery Walker wins race 1. Now the top 7 will invert. That'll put Avery starting back in 7th place. Several drivers, way more than usual, coming out during the warm-up. One of the rookies, Andrew Muse, out on track where we saw Ryan McDaniel coming out. Wessel Stevens and Burkhard Rydell both on pit road. We might see them out during warm-up. Ryan is coming back off pit road. And he just keeps feeding tires to Cookie Monster. Now remember, going into race 2, they do have the option for a full course caution if necessary, with that top 7 invert, things are going to get tight up front very quickly. We have seen a couple of full course cautions this season. Hans Gustafsson, another one of the rookies here this morning, and the only driver in the Audi out getting some extra time on track here. With the sun going down, the lights coming up, it will cool the track. We saw a lot of problems in both horseshoes due to lack of grip. We might see a little bit of a change. The cooler track will give the drivers a little bit more grip that may pay off in race 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 2 from Daytona. Dylan Steinbach and Simon Zierk on the front row. Wessel Stevens and Andrew Lau have the second row. Nick Sorensen, Max Gunther on the third row. Avery Walker, Mike Dolling on the fourth row. Adam Barker and Xander round out the field. Byron Debelos starting in 11th next to David Garman in 12th. Mike Marshall in 13th. Robert Joe in 14th. Hans Gustafsson 15th. Roman Berg in 16th. Andrew Muse in 17th. Burkhard Rydell in 18th. Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel in 19th. Ryan McDaniel in 20th. And Harry Volsmir rounds out the field. Don't forget to come back tonight, 7:30 Eastern. BRR Cup Series is back. And immediately after that, SMRX Series, I do believe they are at Daytona tonight. It looks like Mike Dolling and Burkhard Rydell will start from pit road. Harry Volsmir will not race. Everybody stacked up, ready to go. Everybody on the inside peeking out. There goes the pace car. Steinbach in control. Green flag is in the air at Daytona. Steinbach gets a big launch. Through turn 1, so far everybody makes it. They stay mostly 2 wide. No 3 wide on the start this time. Now 3 wide into the International Horseshoe. Wow, things got a little bumpy. Looks like Avery may have gone into the back bumper of Adam Barker. Max Gunther managing to move up into 5th. Xander already on the move up into 6th place. Robert Joe also picking up 4 spots so far into 10th. Dylan Steinbach out front. Wessel Stevens in 2nd in the McLaren. It's a drag race toward the bus stop. McLaren has the nose ahead. They dive in and Wessel takes the lead. Few of the drivers appear to have had problems in the bus stop, including Robert Joe. But across the start-finish line, Wessel Stevens leads the first lap. Holy cow, Dylan shot to the inside into 1. Almost goes off into the grass, manages to recover, and Wessel is off track. Mike Dolling and Adam Barker both had problems. Back behind, let's take a look at some of these incidents. There's the rookie, Robert Joe, coming into the bus stop. Oh, just misses the turn back in. Overshoots, eventually did get back on track. Oh, Mike Dolling may have gotten a bump. And Adam Barker in the Mercedes off into one. He got a big bump from Avery Walker that sent him way off track. And then Wessel Stevens looks like he got a bump from Simon Zierk as he came onto the power, and Wessel goes off track. Quite a few incidents in the first couple of laps. Dylan Steinbach has moved back up into the lead. Max Gunther, though, trying to fight back by. Max almost got to the inside through the horseshoe. Andrew Lau lurking in 3rd. Xander now to 4th as Robert Joe has had another problem. There's Robert headed toward the internet. Oh! Comes out of the S's, gets into the fence. Gets across into the grass just before Nicole Creasel gets there. Definitely a wild, wild start to race 2. And a bunch of cars back here from 3rd on back, battle it out. Xander, Andrew Lau, Simon Zierk, Avery Walker, all in this group. Avery in that Ferrari losing a little bit of ground as they come down the front stretch. Max still trying to make a move on the Ford of Dylan Steinbach. He might have a shot. He's got the inside into the International Horseshoe. And it looks like he's still unable to clear him. And now Max Gunther clears into the lead. Steinbach in second, but look who's made his way to third. Xander is up front. Remember, Xander did not qualify. Charged his way up to 10th place in race 1. Now has come from 10th to 3rd in race 2. And I doubt he is done yet. Avery Walker back in 5th, set the fastest lap last time by. I expect with the sun down, we're going to see faster laps here. Max Gunther in the lead. Steinbach tries to make the move to the outside, can't get there. Xander set up and went to the inside. Xander now to second. Simon Zierk lurking back behind, trying to get to the inside on Steinbach. Avery Walker still lurking in 5th. Andrew Lau right there in 6th. Sorensen in 7th, closing in on the battle ahead. David Gorman now up into 8th. Byron Devereaux in 9th. Hans Gustafsson in 10th. Mike Marshall currently in 11th. Roman Berg in 12th. Andrew Muse in 13th. Wessel in 14th. Adam Barker in 15th. Robert Joe in 16th. Nicole Kriesel in 17th. Ryan McDaniel off in the grass in 18th. Burkhard Rydell in 19th. Mike Dolling back in 20th. Mike Dolling, the Minister of Defense, has really seemed to be struggling. This season, we're used to seeing Dolling up battling in the top 3. A bit heartbreaking to see him struggling so far. Hopefully we'll see a turnaround next week. Next week they will be at Circuito de Jerez. One of the newer tracks on iRacing, so hopefully it goes in Dolling's favor. Max Gunther has already started to open up a lead on Xander. Simon in 3rd, Steinbach slipping back to 4th. Avery Walker in 5th, but tried to make a move to the high side. I don't think the Porsche can get it done on the straight. He slips back in line behind Dillon. Nicole Kriesel had a problem back behind. There's Nicole coming through the kink, just barely gets the grass and ends up hard into the fence. She does get rolling again. Heavy damage to her Porsche. Meanwhile, Max Gunther's lead has started to shrink. Xander is closing in. Simon Zierk back in third. Avery Walker in fourth. Steinbach in fifth. Nick Sorensen currently in sixth. Andrew Lau in seventh. Gorman up into eighth. Byron Debelow in ninth. And Hans Gustafsson in 10th. Hans had a rough first race this morning. He is making up ground here. Mike Marshall up into 11th. Wessel Stevens has dropped back to 12th after leading earlier. Adam Barker appears to be struggling in the Mercedes this morning, back in 13th. Adam came into the morning with the points lead. Today is definitely going to shake that up just a bit. Nick Sorensen came into the morning second in points. He currently runs in sixth. Nick finished on the podium for race one. Adam Barker finished in ninth, so we're going to see quite a change in the points going into next week. Hans Gustafsson had a problem back behind. There's Gustafsson coming out of turn one. Several cars get by. I think there may have been a little bit of contact. Looking down from the blimp. I think there was a little net code at play between Wessel and Hans. Whoa, big problems there for the leader. Max Gunther got out of shape and opened the door. Xander shot through it. Max able to fight back coming out of the horseshoe. But any advantage he had is gone. Now Xander is there and on the attack. It also brings Avery Walker, Dylan Steinbach, and Simon Zierk, as well as Nick Sorensen, back into the fight. Andrew Lau lurking not far behind as well. And the rookie, Andrew Muse, has had a problem and gone to pit road. There's Muse. And just on the power, loses the back end. It has definitely been a rough morning for the rookies as he tries to get back out on the banking. but slides it down to the infield. Xander, meanwhile, has reclaimed the lead. And it's a three-car battle for the lead at the moment as Avery shoots to the inside. Avery and Max go at it side by side for second. That's going to bring Dylan Steinbach, Simon Zierk, and Nick Sorensen back into the fight. Andrew Lau still lurking within striking distance. And that little bit of side-by-side action briefly gave Xander some breathing room. Back into the bus stop, everybody right there. And you know what we haven't done this morning is right along with one of the drivers, let's hop on board with Andrew Lau as he has the top 5 just ahead. Side-by-side battle again up front for second as they go off into turn 1. See multiple different angles of attack for the first turn. Use every bit of the track coming through the S's down into the International Horseshoe. Lau right back up onto the bumper. Headed down toward the kink, just a brief lift. Hard on the brakes into the second horseshoe. Back on the power and headed down for the left-hand turn to take you back out onto NASCAR 1 and 2. Back out onto the banking. Everybody in the top 6, all within drafting range. They come out of turn 2 and full send down the back straightaway. Get down, hit the braking point, left-hander into the bus stop, debris flying. Using every bit of the track, then onto turn 3. Through NASCAR 3 and 4 again, coming back up to full speed. And then back across the start-finish line. Andrew Lau did that lap at a 1:45.22. Xander out front, but Avery is on the attack already. Looks like Nicole Kriesel, the first one to complete a pit stop. Nicole on her way back out on track. It's taken Xander 2 races to make his way to the front. He has had an amazing run here this morning. Avery Walker in the Porsche right behind. That Porsche cannot make a move on the straightaway. So the Porsche drivers have to strategize where they can make the move, where they'll have the advantage, and most of the time that will be in the infield. Avery started to peak as they came out of turn 1, couldn't get the run. Dylan Steinbach still nose to tail. Simon Zierk about a second back in 5th with Sorensen on his bumper and Lau right behind. The top 7 starting to break up just a little bit. Remember, they will have to make a stop for fuel. Depending on strategies, you could see the pack split up, or you could see it getting tighter. Wessel Stevens had problems early, has dropped back into 9th. David Garman now up 4 spots into 8th, but 8.5 seconds behind that 7-car lead pack. Adam Barker currently in 11th, Mike Marshall in 12th. Both drivers had problems on lap 1 and have been trying to recover ever since. Ryan McDaniel has gone to pit road. This will be his stop. Will we see a tire change here this morning, or will it be fuel only? Ryan's gonna get tires as Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel has had a problem back behind. There's Nicole coming out onto the banking, but as we have seen so many times, the back end just steps out. The exit to NASCAR 1 and 2, very, very slick. Man, that top 3 still stacked up all together. Xander's Ferrari is definitely given the 2 Porsches behind exactly what they need, a faster slipstream in the straight line sections of this track. Simon Zierk. Simon may have lost connection. It appears Simon Zierk has lost connection. He has gone from 6th place. He's going to drop to the tail. As Avery Walker finally gets the lead. See this pass for the lead off into turn 1. Avery gets the run, shoots to the inside. Quickly takes the lead and opens the door for Max Gunther to battle for 2nd. And there have been multiple problems back behind. Robert Joe, Byron Demelo, Mike Marshall, there is a caution. The caution flag flies for the first time today. Let's take a look at the events that brought this out. There's the rookie, Robert Joe, headed off into the bus stop. It looks like he completely missed the turn-in. Byron Devereaux goes off into turn 1 roughly the same time. Goes around. Garmin barely slips by. Mike Marshall comes off into turn 1 as well. Oh, Byron just sits there, and Marshall had nowhere to go. Wow. What a turn of events. This will also allow the field to hit pit road under caution. Our first full course caution of the day. Now the strategy really comes into play. Will these drivers take tires, or will this be a fuel-only stop? Simon Zierk has reconnected, is back out on track, but he has dropped back to 14th. Likely to see everybody on pit road this time. David Garmin had a problem. He is going to pit road. Looks like Garmin just made a hard left and parked it. Not sure what brought about Garmin being out of the race. And here they come to pit road. Xander tried to shoot to the inside to get to his pit stall a little bit quicker. Avery now cutting in. Devereaux back in his pit stall getting repairs. There's our leader. No tires. Looks like Max Gunther taking tires. Dylan Steinbach also taking tires. Here they come. Everybody rolls back off pit road. Xander and Avery Walker took fuel only. Both drivers coming out 6th and 7th. Mike Marshall and, Simon Zierk had already pitted. Roman Berg on his way back out. So this moves Xander and Avery back to 6th and 7th. Some of the top 5 ahead have not been in for fuel yet. That could make things interesting. We could see some pit stops here in a second. I would expect to see Mike Doling, Burkhart Rydell, and Hans Gustafsson on pit road this time. Well, that number of incidents leading to a full course caution definitely shaking this one up. Lights have gone out on the pace car, which means those drivers in the top 5 that did not hit pit road, they could be in trouble here. Burkhart Rydell is taken off from the field, but he is going to duck it on into pit road. Interesting strategy there. Looks like Doling is coming in as well as the pace car. Hans Gustafsson out front for the first time. Green flag flies. Just under 17 minutes to go. Everybody packed back up, meaning turn 1 could get spicy, and it does. But Xander very quickly shoots to the lead. Avery follows him up to second. Hans still trying to hold on to third. Wessel Stevens now up into fourth. Sorensen in fifth. Oh, Gustafsson is around in the second horseshoe. Byron Demelo and Ryan McDaniel have had a problem. It's chaos on the restart. As Xander and Avery pull away. Wessel in third trying to close the gap. Sorensen and Lau rounding out the top 5. Let's take a look at some of these incidents from a moment ago. Hans out, he just loses rear grip through the second horseshoe and goes around. Demelo battling with, oh, Dillon just pushes out, barely sends him around. And Ryan McDaniel back behind. Overshoots that turn, continues to feed Cookie Monster tires. As Avery Walker has reclaimed the lead. Xander still lurks in second and will have the advantage on the straightaways. Wessel Stevens back in third. Sorensen currently in fourth. Lau in fifth. Max Gunther with fresh tires currently in sixth. Avery has a 3/4 of a second lead on Xander at the moment. Wessel, Stevens, and Sorensen now over 2 seconds behind Xander. After that brief caution period, all the drivers appear to be pushing just a little bit harder. Max Gunther, one of the drivers we know took fresh tires. Would not be surprised to see him make some moves up through the field. Avery trying to open that gap up, and Xander keeping it about 3/4 of a second. They continue to pull away from Wessel and the rest of that 4-car group. Dylan Steinbach now back in 7th. Barker up to 8th. Mike Marshall currently in 9th. Simon Zierk in 10th. Roman Berg currently in 11th. Hans Gustafsson back in the fight in 12th. Mike Balling, rough morning, back in 13th. Nicole Kriesel currently in 14th. Burkhard Rydell in 15th. Byron Debelow in 16th. Ryan McDaniel up 3 spots into 17th. And looks like Garmin, Robert Joe, and Andrew Muse out of the race. As Xander just set the fastest lap of the morning, 1:44.29. And Nicole has had a problem. Nicole headed toward the exit to the banking, just a little too deep, ends up burying it in the tire wall. Quickly recovers and gets going, but a big hit on one of her best runs. The leaders coming by Nicole, obviously down on power. Avery continues to lead, and the gap back to third continues to grow as they are battling hard coming into turn 1. Max gets a run to the inside on Sorensen, but lost some ground. Looks like Max may have kissed the wall. Hey, good morning, Manny. Thank you for the raid. Andrew Lau holds on to 5th. Max Gunther in 6th. Steinbach in 7th. Simon Zierk drifting back into 8th. Barker closing in 9th. Mike Marshall overshot in a big way. Almost got the tire wall. Meanwhile, Avery out front by 0.8 of a second over Xander. Wessel Stevens now up into third with Sorensen on his bumper in fourth. Max has slipped back to sixth after clipping the wall. Coming out of turn one, Lau back up into fifth. Nicole Kriesel stopped at the exit of pit road to let the leaders get by. That is great sportsmanship. Through the infield, Avery is starting to pull away from Xander just a little bit. Now a 1 second gap. Can Xander make it back up on the straightaway? Ryan McDaniel, Mike Marshall have both had problems. Ryan has gone to pit road. There's Ryan down the backstretch. Looks like headed toward the bus stop. Misses the turn and just slams the wall. Mike Marshall headed toward the second horseshoe. On the power back end, just slides out right in front of traffic. Close call there. Manny, did you have a good stream this morning, buddy? Avery out front is opening up his lead now, 1.3 seconds. Wessel in third, Andrew in fourth. Max Gunther back up into fifth, Sorensen in sixth. Does Gunther have enough fresh tires left to get around Lau and potentially Wessel? Just under 5.5 minutes to go in race two. It could be Avery sweeping the morning at Daytona. Some of our rookies doing quite well this morning. Hans Gustafsson up 3 spots into 12th. Burkhard Rydell up 4 spots into 14th. Unfortunately, Robert Joe and Andrew Muse both out early in race 2. The lead continues to grow. Xander not closing the gap at all. Now 2 seconds behind Avery Walker. Max Gunther now has his hands full. Sorensen trying to get back by as they come down into the kink. Max holds it for now. Max does have French tires, giving him a little bit of an advantage here. but the Porsche's lack of straight line speed has been a problem. Does look like he is picking up a little bit of slipstream off Andrew Lau. Meanwhile, Avery Walker continues to extend his lead. Now 2.5 seconds over Xander. Still quite a battle going on from third. Oh no! We've got two off track. It's Max Gunther and Nick Sorensen. There's Gunther on the outside, Sorensen on the inside. Looks like Sorensen just pushes out across the nose. Max gets the worst of it. See if we can see this one from the blimp. And Max just comes, or Sorensen just comes out a little bit into Max, and both of them end up in the wall. Big shakeup in the top 5. Andrew Lau now into 4th. Adam Barker, the points leader, back up into 5th. Avery Walker's lead continuing to grow, now 3 seconds over Xander. Wessel Stevens now has to battle Andrew Lau for 3rd. Meanwhile, Avery just checks out onto the banking one last time. Avery won race number 1 with the invert, started race 2 in 7th, managed to come through the early chaos unscathed. And has put on a clinic here this morning. Looking forward to seeing how the Conliff Esports team will do next weekend at the 24 Hours of Daytona. And here he comes. Avery Walker will get it done and pull off the sweep at Daytona. And a battle for 3rd as Xander comes home in 2nd, and Andrew Lau with a last lap pass takes 3rd. And let's talk to our top 3, starting with Andrew Lau. Andrew, not just a last lap pass, but a last turn pass.
Yeah, I got kind of lucky there, to be honest. I had a bad exit, but saw Wessel had a slowdown, so I can't contribute that to anything else but luck.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. It definitely worked out in your favor and a great morning overall.
Yeah, not bad today.
Well, great job, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you, though.
Xander coming home in second. Xander, early in this one, it looked like you were going to be the car to beat.
Yeah. I'm driving this car because I'm just doing some Daytona 24 testing, and we didn't have the balance of performance in this race. So the Porsches had a really big advantage over the other cars. But I'm quite happy with the result. Avery drove really well, so yeah, can't beat him this time.
Well, a great job. And obviously, you're going to be one of the drivers to beat next week. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner with the sweep at Daytona. Avery, you pull off the sweep at Daytona this morning. Good signs for the 24 hours.
No, this is Andrew again.
Whoops. Avery, you pull off the sweep here at Daytona, and good signs going into the 24 hours next week.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good racing from Xander, especially Max, all of them, Dylan. Before the yellow flag, we had like a 7-car battle going, and that was a lot of fun.
It did look like a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, it was hard to keep up with everything you guys had going on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was a good broadcast. We were having a lot of fun out there. Great moves. Yellow was interesting, let's say, but then it was still good racing Xander to the end. So yeah, it was a good time.
Well, when it came down to it, man, you opened up quite a lead there at the end. Surprising considering the Porsche's straight line slowness.
Yeah, I think so for the 24-hour, the Porsche is going to get BOP'd, so I don't think we're going to use that car. I think Xander was trying out his 24-hour setup, and let's just say it needs a few tweaks. He was not very happy driving it. So.
Well, a great job, man. Congratulations. You swept the morning. Awesome, buddy.
Thanks.
Avery Walker pulls off the win at Daytona. Hey, good morning, Miss Ginger. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who came with Manny's Raid. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Don't forget, 7:30 tonight, BRR and SMR. You definitely don't want to miss out on more racing tonight. We'll see you this evening. Have a great night, everybody.